a redneck. All you people come into the town of Caroline over the last 70 years of my life, we had a beautiful town here. You come here and you want to rearrange it. We all use energy. You watch the price of gasoline go up. How many doesn't use gasoline in here? Oh yeah, we could ride a bicycle. We can walk. It seems as though Tony brought out some points. What are you really doing to yourself? Forget about us landowners that have fed you. For how many years? Well, I've only been on the planet 71 and a half. I don't know how much longer I got. I asked the good Lord for 30 years a year ago, or yeah. But I only take one day at a time. The water cycle in school I learned. The purification of the water. Let's not worry about the water. Let's worry about energy. You got to get up and pull your own bootstraps on and go to work. Some of you know what I've been through, but I'm still walking. I'm talking and driving. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Dan Gary is next, and then Anna Gibson is on deck.
Hi, I'm Zan Garrity. My bootstraps may be a little smaller, but we heat with wood and we have solar panels. So we are interested, and we came here not just out of love of the community, but because of the environment, and we thank the people who have been here and have provided that. But I just would like to remind people that a bully is one who intimidates, pressures, says my way, no way, go away. In 1938, corporations bullied their way into personhood. This democracy of one person, one vote became a corpocracy, with a little hypocrisy on the side, where more money buys more votes. We cannot regulate bullying. This continues today via the suppression of the one person, one vote by the money of the corporations. We, the citizens of Caroline, practice democracy in November by our one vote, one person, with the community being clearly divided into what was wanted. And we expressed ourselves. Our votes spoke clearly. I'm proud to be an active citizen of Caroline and see democracy, not corpocracy, work here. Now the key is we work together to make this community work and listen to the vote, the words that were expressed. Thank you.
Next speaker is Anna Gibson, and Vic Furman is on deck. And I want to remind the speakers that you're addressing the town board and not the crowd, because you're trying to provide us with input so we can determine how we want to vote on the moratorium local law. But with that, thank you.
I'm Anna Gibson. I'm a farmer and a landowner here in Caroline. I know that many of the people speaking tonight will eloquently detail the mounting scientific evidence that hydrofracking for natural gas poses many serious risks to the environment and our health. I'm going to keep it short and simple. Scientific studies show that well water has been contaminated by methane and fracking chemicals. Ozone levels are shockingly high in regions with a lot of fracking, and asthma is on the rise. The methane that escapes from gas wells can no longer be dismissed as insignificant in volume or in its contribution to global warming. There's plenty of evidence, too, that the costs of road damage, lost tourism dollars, increased crime, and expensive housing cancel out any economic benefits from fracking. The DEC, the governor, and many elected lawmakers are fond of saying we need to base decisions about fracking on science, but then choose to ignore the science that shows how dangerous fracking is. Good science takes time, and for it to make any difference, it takes separating it from corporate influence and separating lawmakers from corporate influence as well. As important as the science is, in the end, whether to frack or not must be a decision based on our values, our beliefs about what is right and wrong, and our love of our children in this world that we will leave for them. Let's not ignore the very real risks of fracking and gamble away our children's well-being for imaginary riches. We have an opportunity here in Caroline to break the cycle of turning a blind eye to likely environmental damage and then belatedly cleaning it up at great expense. Let's not pretend that the big gas companies care about our water, air, and health, or anything other than making as much money as possible. Extracting fossil fuels is a dirty and dangerous business. In the final analysis, natural gas isn't any better than coal. Let's join with our neighboring communities in New York State to turn away from that path. Let's push our state to lead the way to embracing clean, renewable, sustainable sources of energy. As a first step, I urge you to pass a moratorium on hydrofracking for natural gas in the town of Caroline.
So our speaker is Dick Furman, and, sorry I can't read this very well, but it's Susan maybe DeBoer or something like that, so you're on deck. Help us with your name when you come up. Okay.
I'd like to just say that since 1940, New York State has been hydrofracking wells. And it's true, it's a vertical well, doesn't use as much. But since 1981, 32 states have been hydrofracturing with deep, high-volume hydrofracturing into horizontal wells. Those states haven't got the issues that we're hearing about. Yeah, there's been accidents and methane contamination. I know of no chemical contamination ever in any well. But on the basis of putting in a moratorium or a ban, are you going to be studying? Is that the basis for doing it, to study the drilling itself? I'm asking you a question. Are you going to is that why you want the moratorium, is to do more studying?
Actually, the local law is very clear that that's not the purpose.
Okay.
The purpose is to prepare the town for a number of effects of the gas industry so that we'd be ready.
Then you must have a plan on what you're going to use to go forward, on what you're going to study and things like that. There must be a plan that you're going to use to guide you through that study.
Well, we have 6 different topic areas that will be considered.
Okay, I'm going to put in a FOIL request. Have you got a FOIL request with you tonight? No. I'd like to do a FOIL request on everything and all the correspondence you have had about drilling, any notes that you've gotten from Slodgey or anybody else, all emails, everything else. I would like to get that for myself so that I can review what you've been asked to do from outside interest of the town and so forth. So I will need a FOIL request. I'll give you my address before I leave. You can mail it to me. But I'm telling you right now that banning any industry is a big mistake in any town in any part of the United States.
Yeah.
We're a free country. We always have been a free country. People have died keeping this country free. People are going to die keeping this country free. And we need to realize that once you start taking rights away from Americans, you're going to end up being one of them third world countries. If I understand there's 45 towns that now have bans in place. Sooner or later, the New York State government's going to wake up and say, hey, this is anarchy. We can't do this. I have here in my hand a letter that went out from the town boards of the Delaware Water Basin that went to New York City and Albany, where they're going to seek $81.4 billion in damages from the ban that's being put on those watershed areas. It's not going to stop there. The moratoriums that were just put in place, or the bans that were just put in place by Dryden and Middlefield, are going to be appealed, and when they get to the appellate division, it's not going to be a local town judge making that decision. You got to remember, win or lose, it's still going to cost. Wait for the state to make the decision before you move forward on any bans or any moratoriums. Thank you.
Susan? Susan Dorsey, all right. And next on deck is Inga Anderson.
My name is Susan Dorsey, and I'd like to address the board on a few issues. A moratorium to use a period of time to stall drilling until the town gets a plan together. It sounds like you have areas of study that you're going to proceed to study. However, time is of the essence for some of our landowners, and property rights are being denied with a moratorium. As far as gas drilling being an industrial use, I have a problem with that terminology, because a gas well, drilling a gas well is like a construction site. It's not a primary use of the property, it's not permanent, not like a quarry or some other factory. This is an accessory use to the primary use of agricultural land in your area. It's also a historic use in your town. Your county has recorded leases for generations. There are several thousand acres in the town of Caroline leased. So these are not permanent changes to your area. It's just a temporary, as I said, construction job that may inconvenience people for a short time, and then you won't know that the gas wells are there. As far as the changes you've made to your draft law, of course, I will see if I concur with your town attorney that they're not substantive because they weren't made public before tonight's meeting. But the part that you've read about transmission, so, you know, you're allowing transmission of gas. So you will allow a distribution system of natural gas in your area. So in other words, it's okay to use it, it's legal to use it, but it's not legal to harvest it. There is a word for that. You know, a lot of these people in this room buy local. They buy local at the farmer's market, everything local. You have to agree, if you're a true environmentalist, the danger of an accident with any fossil fuel increases with the distance from where that is produced to the end user. So use your local gas. God gave us this resource underneath this area to be utilized. Instead of killing people halfway across the world where they're safely out of view, where we can't see them so that you can steal their oil. The gentleman that was talking about road use, and also CEAs and site plan, a lot of this stuff is way, way, way above where the town has its area of expertise. This is why it's handled at a state level. This is why the state will
Repeal.
reassert supersedure over this. Thank you.
Inga Alexander, and then Andy Novelli is next.
I'm Inga Alexander.
Neil, here's a good guy.
Can you?
And I
Yeah, but I
live in
can't hear it.
I live in Caroline.
I know, but I'll skip that.
And I am 80 years old, so I'm a little bit ahead of Bill. I bought some land in '98, I think. And it was being sold by a developer from Massachusetts, and 26 acres had been divided into 6 parcels. We were able to buy the whole parcel and not have it divided up into bowling alleys. The only way we could do that was to have the company carry the mortgage, because we didn't inherit this land, we had to buy it. And now we're at a place, and as my partner Zan had said, we put in a masonry stove which heats with wood that we get from our land, selectively cutting trees. And we put in a solar system, panels, way before there were any subsidies or any help, no tax breaks, because we were environmentally trying to walk the talk. And now I want a moratorium and a ban because I am a tax-paying landowner. I don't want my land fracked, but compulsory integration says that my land can be taken. And if the shoe were on the other foot, with your land being taken, what would you be saying here?